Hello everybody, Coach Steve Aaron here, Nashville, Tennessee. It's March, late March 2011, and I'm here to talk about the cut routine today that you purchased. You bought the cut routine downloadable DVD video is what you've got, and we're going to go over the basics of the cut routine today. I'm here in Nashville, Tennessee. It's kind of a sunny day with a little mixed clouds going on, but I found this man-made structure inside of Percy Warner Park, and here I am inside this thing. So I figured what a better place to shoot, because my whole philosophy on strength training as a whole is all natural. There's a lot of different thought patterns out there as far as strength training is concerned. Several of them involve nutrition as a whole. I'm certainly an advocate of good nutrition. However, I do feel that the key to strength training are the programs themselves. And so we're going to talk about the cut routine specifically today. Before we get into the cut routine, I want to go over a basic kind of layout of strength training as it pertains to my three routines: the maintenance routine, the cut routine, and the bulk routine. So I want to start with the maintenance routine. The maintenance routine is your basic 8x12 workout. You know, you're going to do 8 to 12 reps with a moderate weight load. That's what a lot of people do. And you've got to start with the maintenance routine in order to talk about the cut routine. A lot of people out there working really hard. There's all kinds of different programs that pertain to maintenance. And for the most part, I agree with all of them. That's why I'm not out to sell you a maintenance program. But for those of you that are interested in something a little more dynamic, for instance, a fat shredding program like the cut routine, we got to start with talking about maintenance and why a lot of people don't understand the difference between the basic maintenance programs. At 615 Fit, basically what we do is three maintenance programs. You have a heavy maintenance, you have a light maintenance, and you have ultralight. Heavy maintenance and ultralight maintenance are both pretty intense strength training programs. The only difference is the area of reps that you visit. With the heavy program, you're in the 8 to 12 rep range. You're pushing around, your maximum weight loads are going to be the 80 percentile. I don't think you touch the 90s in the heavy maintenance. In the ultralight maintenance program, it's just a higher rep range. You're staying up there in the 80-something percentile, working really hard, but you're doing 15 to 25 reps. So ultralight is perfect for people, for instance, ladies that want to get started with a maintenance program, get ready to do some cutting, and you're going to start out with a high rep maintenance program, but you're going to work hard in that 80 to 90% light maintenance. I pretty much consider a rehab type of program. It's something you want to get started with. You're working in the 65 percentile range. You're still doing 8 to 12 reps now, but you're not working that hard. You're just getting a little basic strength training. And so I really consider light maintenance to kind of be, the one that if you're going to get started, that's where you start. If you're already strength training, you'd want to start with ultralight maintenance and do a higher rep program, or you want to start with heavy maintenance and get ready to go into the cut or bulk routines. So now we had a chance to talk about the maintenance program. I think it's important that you understand the cut routine has really nothing to do with it, but we had to bring it up. It had to be mentioned because that's where a lot of people draw their first strength training ideas and concepts from. So let's talk about the cut routine for a minute. Cut routines were first derived from bodybuilding. In the 70s and 80s, bodybuilders would work really, really hard, and they probably still do today. I'm sure there's a lot of cut routines out there, but this one in particular came from that era. And what happens is you're getting ready for a contest and you've got 3 or 4 months to get ready. Well, you better start a cut routine. And that's a high rep, high intensity program. The fundamental things that are important about cut routines are that there's very little rest, and there's a lot of pumping going on and a lot of working out in the upper 80 and 90 percentile range. And what I mean by that is you're pushing yourself really, really hard, pretty much all the way through the program. So let me tell you about the 615 Fit cut routine. It was basically taught to me down at Armo's Body Shop in the mid-1990s. Me and several friends were down there training. Armo's Body Shop was a kind of a hard-ass gym here in Nashville. It was down in Division. I believe there's a disco there now called Hollywood Disco. Isn't that cool? But the gym was great. I was a member there for over 13 years, and like I said, it was about the mid-1990s when several people were noticing that I was doing bulking routines, and they asked me if I'd done any cut routines before, and I said no. And so we started looking at them, and ultimately this is the one we came up with. To describe this thing the best, it's basically an inverted superset with a diminishing time coefficient. Well, that sounds kind of confusing, but if you know what a superset is, basically you're going down the stack or up the stack. Anyway, you're not resting. The 615 fit cut routine is basically an inverted superset with a diminishing time coefficient. So you start with 40 reps, you go to 35, 30, 25, 20. The whole time you're going down the rep schedule, you're going up in your weight loads. Makes it very, very difficult to do. We start out resting 60 to 90 seconds between each set. So, for instance, if you're an advanced athlete, you're only going to rest 60 seconds. Now, if you hit all your plateaus while you're doing the cut routine, the following week you get to rest 55 seconds. And if you continue hitting your plateaus, and those plateaus are considered what are your rep goals, if you hit those, then you know what? You get to continue to diminish the time each week. 5 seconds a week until you get to 30 seconds, and then from 30 seconds you go down 2 and 3 second intervals at a time each week. By the 8th week you should be well under 30-second rest, making this program one of the toughest programs in the world. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at the cut machine itself. As soon as you open the cut machine, you'll notice in the middle it says the cut machine. That's a logo. Up in the left-hand corner is our video screen. That's where you'll see your trainer doing the exercises that you'll also do with it. You'll also see any add-on trainers. For instance, if you load volleyball cut, basketball cut, enduro cut, west coast cut, you'll see those trainers appear there also in the video window. Just below the video window is a countdown clock. Well, you need to watch that thing, because then when it gets to 0, you need to start lifting again. That's your rest time. That's how much time you'll have to rest. Now, during these tougher programs, for instance, the add-ons, they're not resting. They're actually doing drills in those programs. So be ready for a full 21-minute non-stop workout. To the right of the video screen is the information window. It's a blue window, and you'll see everything printed in there, from how much weight to add each rep, to how many reps to do, or how much weight to take away. Frank did a really good job of making those windows big, so you can glance at the machine and you can see exactly what you need to be doing. Below the countdown clock's the fail button. If for some reason you don't reach a rep goal, you need to hit that fail button. That's going to send data back to your profile and let you know that you shouldn't be advancing your time the following week because you missed a rep goal. To the right of the fail button is the push button. Every time you reach a rep goal, you hit the push button. It's just pushing forward. It's moving down the rep schedule. It's advancing you through the routine, making you stronger every time you hit that push button. Push button is the key to the cut. To the right of the push button, you'll see the time dial. The time dial has 60 to 90 seconds for starters. Nobody should start below 60 seconds. If you haven't done cut routines before, you need to start out at 60 to 90 seconds. Now over to the right of the machine, you'll see the calibrator for the 1 rep maximum. If you don't know what your 1 rep max is, you'll use that calibrator to figure it out. Just below that, you can enter your 1 rep max, or if you use the calibrator, it'll enter it for you. Then you see post-loading, pre-loading, and both. We're going to talk a little more about those later, but those buttons basically enhance the workouts. If you click on pre-loading, it's going to load the front end of the workout. If you load post-loading, it's going to load the back end of the workout. If you hit both, it's going to load the front and the back, making the workouts really, really tough. Below that, you'll see the DB, the bar, and the machine box. Click the DB box if you're going to use dumbbells. Use the bar if you're going to use a bar. Use machine if you're going to use machine. The go button advances you to the rep schedule. Go ahead and hit the go button. You're going to see the rep schedule now. Up in the top right-hand corner is your first rep goal. It's 40 reps. After you knock that out, come back and hit the push or fail button, depending if you got 40 reps or not. If you did, you push. If you didn't, you hit fail. Hopefully you picked your 1 rep max right and you got your first rep goal at least. I've seen people fail it before, believe me. Anyway, that's basically a look at the machine. If you look down on the bottom of the rep schedule, you'll see the 3 different colored boxes at the bottom. Those are your finishers. Those are all 15 rep sets. There's no rest between the finishers. So when you get down there, you're going to do 15 reps, pick up the next weight load, go, go, go. Do 15 more, pick up the next, go, go, go. The bottom of the rep schedule in the finishers is where you're going to want to use perfect form. Make sure and use flexing, negatives, and anybody around that can spot you needs to be there during those last 3 15 rep sets. Well, that's a quick look at the cut machine. We have help files at the site that'll explain pretty much anything you need to know. Otherwise, we're going to go back now and talk more about the cut routine itself and what really sets it apart and what makes it different from all other routines. Okay guys, back to talk about the cut routine. I want to talk about a brief description of the kind of equipment you need to use, and there's some other things I want to talk about before we get started with more discussions on some of the intricate details of the cut routine. Okay guys, I want to talk about equipment for a minute. There are several different types of home equipment you can use. Obviously have good. You're going to have either expandable dumbbells or a nice rack of dumbbells. You need to be able to go up in intervals of at least 1 pound, maybe 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds minimum. I like to have 1 pound, 1/2 pound, and 2 pound dumbbells laying around, along with 3s, 5s, and so on up the schedule, just so you can always combine a 1 with a 5 to get 6, or a 2 with a 5 to get 7. So on and so forth. Dumbbells work pretty well. There's also some band systems out there right now that are pretty good. You're going to have at least 15 different levels of tension on your band. So we're talking about 5 or 6 bands with three levels each. But bands work, so you can do bands. Spotters are a big deal. If you don't have one, that's fine, because I went 4 or 5 years without spots down at Armo's Body Shop, but that's not the way to do it. Especially during the finishers, you need to have a spotter. You have a 3 rep and a 4 rep set that are very heavy. They're up in the 90 percentile range. You need to have spotters for those too. The cut routine's tough, so if you're going to do it right, try to get somebody around during the heavy sets and during the finishers to spot you. You don't want to get hurt. So this is a 21-minute routine, and if everybody in the gym was doing 21-minute routines, then there wouldn't be a lot of confusion, would there? Because everybody would be on a machine for 21 minutes. You wouldn't need to go around the gym. But unfortunately, that's not how it works. Everybody's moving through the gym, doing their own things, and to take over a machine for 21 minutes, well, you're going to come off kind of like an ass. So, the best setting is going to be to get in a gym when they're not that busy. But unfortunately, that's not how it works. Everybody's moving through the gym, doing their own thing. If somebody asks to work in, just politely say, I'll be done in a few minutes. Or if, I'm resting 1 minute between sets, if you can knock out your stuff in less than a minute, sure, work in. We do what's a thing called guarding, and we basically kind of hang out around the machines and try to protect what we're doing for the 21 minutes. We'll let people work in, obviously. But in most cases, what happens is somebody comes up, they want to work in. There's all kinds of ways in the gym to do the exact same exercise that they're wanting to do on the piece of equipment you're on. So in most cases, they just need to look around and try to figure out how to do it. To work in, they come up and they go, look, can I work in? Of course you want to let them work in. But you can also point out to them, hey, I've got a few more minutes on this piece of equipment, or if you can get in and out in a minute, no problem. You work in all you want. But the cut routine does dominate equipment, and it dominates it for about 21 minutes. So be ready for some confrontation where that's concerned. So I want to touch on preloading again. This is the part of the, when you go to the cut machine and you start to fill out your 1 rep, and you get, let's say you're 2 sets into the routine, and you realize that maybe you didn't put enough weight in your 1 rep maximum loading. So when you load it up, you just didn't put enough in there. So what you got to do now is you got to preload. What that's going to do, that's going to load the first 6 or so sets with a little more of a bang to it, make it a little tougher on you. That should fix the problem. Now as you continue through the rep schedule, you'll get to basically the center part of the cut routine, which is about 8 minutes into it, 9 minutes in. What happens a lot of times when you're at the 8 and 9 minute part, you start missing plateaus. And the reason it happens is because you haven't had time to recover. The interesting thing about the cut routine is that it does give you a chance to recover. It comes late. Usually recovery occurs around the 8-6 rep range, just in time for the heavy 4 and the heavy 3. So be prepared to miss a few sets early in the middle part of the program. 7-8 minutes into your routine, you may start missing some plateaus. But you know what? If you miss them, you got to do it again next week. You don't get to cut down your rest time. Post-loading occurs after the middle part of the routine. You're doing pretty well. Let's say you're 12, 14, 15 minutes into the routine, and guess what? You're just not getting enough weight load there. For some reason, you were stronger than you thought you were, and you entered too light of a 1 rep max. Well, you hit the post-load button. That takes care of it right there for you. And if you still don't get enough, you hit the both button. You both means preloading and post-loading at the same time. And it really exponentially bangs the last few sets out for you. So those are ways to make the routine a lot tougher. You preload at the front end of the set, you post-load at the end, and you can even go both, which really compounds it for you. And then there's one other thing you can do. The very last set of the finishers, you can compound, which will actually add about 10% to it to make it really, really tough. So if you get into your finishers, you do your first 15 rep set, oh, it's pretty light. You do your second one well, it's a little too light. I think I'm going to breeze through the third one. You hit the compound finisher, and that should kick in. Now, I want to take a second to talk about plateaus. What we call plateaus in the cut routine are your rep goals. And as you go down through the rep schedule, you're going to find little areas that basically you're shooting for. Like when I do the cut routine, one of the things I like to do is get to the 10 rep set. At that point, I know I've got an 8, 6, 4, and 3 with a few finishers left to go. I've got less than 5 or 6 minutes left. That's my favorite plateau. Find your favorite plateau. When you get there, you recognize that this was a place you were wanting to get to. You got there, you kicked its butt, and you moved on. So one of the things I like to do is always try to get all your reps. It's one thing to come out and go, oh, well, I'm tired. Oh, I'm cramping. Oh. And that's reaching every rep goal, reaching every plateau. Now, there are a couple of things I want to mention that will really make this routine even tougher than I've already mentioned. And that's flexing, negatives, and if you really want to push yourself hard, you do 2-a-days. My recommendation is do 3 to 4 cut routines a day if you're just wanting to get in, for instance, the best shape of your life. You really, really, really want to push it, you do 2-a-days. You do 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 3 in the evening, 4 in the evening. That's 8 routines a day. That's killing it. I've done it before. I've done it for 6 or 8 weeks like that. It's dramatic. It's dramatic what it does. But 2-a-days are a great way to, you can knock it out quickly. So even if you did 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, that's 4 routines a day. That's great. You're talking a 21 minutes of routine, so you start 42 minutes in the morning, 42 minutes in the evening, and you got 4 cut routines done. That's a fabulous, fabulous day of working out. And when I talk about flexing, what you're doing with flexing is, you're just like a bodybuilder. That's not flexing, that's flexing. So for instance, if I was doing curls, and I want to make the cut routine a lot tougher, what I would do is I'd pull the weight up and then flex at the top of the rep. Same with triceps. What you're going to do there is when you extend, instead of just extending, you're going to extend and then flex. That's going to make the cut routine really kick. Now, most people can't flex the entire cut routine. That's 21 minutes of flexing. Most people can't do it. I can't do it. But what you can do is flex all of the finishers. Those are the 15 rep sets that come last. And I want you flexing every one of those reps. Flex when you go down. Flex when you go down. When you're curling, flex when you come up. Flex when you come up. That's going to make those finishers really pop. Negatives, flexing, 2-a-days, things like that are going to set you apart from the other athletes. Now, one of the things you're going to understand after you do the cut routine is you're going to be sore. So, hey, jacuzzis, massages, one of the things I like to do is stretch a lot. And in particularly, I like tie stretching. Now, that's assisted stretching. You got to have somebody around you who knows how to tie stretch you to do it. But I'm going to have a little section at the website that you can check into. It'll show you the 36 basic tie stretches. And you and a partner get into these and try to do it a couple of times a week. Try to go through some assisted stretching. It makes all the difference in the world in how you respond to these cut routines. Especially those athletes out there that are really pushing it. If you're doing 2-a-days with this, you need to be assisted stretched. That's all there is to it. So now I want to touch on diet and rest and cardio. All 3 of these things are important components of the cut routine. You'll hear me often say, well, I'm not all about nutrition and nutrition only, and I'm not. I think that the program you do is equally as important, if not a lot more important, than what you eat. Now, you got to eat right, don't get me wrong, and I'm going to have a few suggestions for you. But in general, it's the program you do that matters. These cut routines and even the maintenance routines that we're putting out there are going to change people's thinking on, what's more important. Do I go do a few sets and then eat tuna all day? Or do I do a routine properly? It's got a clock on it, it's got a weight load estimator, and then kind of just be smart about my eating. I subscribe to the latter. I think that just smart eating and doing fantastic programs is where the future of strength training and athletics is. So, in general, you need to go to the website and look at some of the suggestions we have. We have forums on eating properly and what to avoid and what to look for. But I look at it this way. Eat lean meats. That's fish, tuna, chicken, steaks. Other sources of protein are great. Your beans. My dad always said peanut butter was the perfect food, and I think it's a great food too. It's got a little bit of carb, a little bit of fat, a little bit of protein. But in general, you just want to avoid fatty foods. There's no reason to eat saturated fats. You're going to get plenty of fat if you eat enough lean meats. You're still going to get your fat out of those protein sources. It's just there. It's a part of lean meat is fat. It's in lean meat, and you're thinking, well, lean meat doesn't have fat in it. Yes, it does. Okay, it does. You're going to get it. Dairy, you're going to get your fat there. So, hey, I drink low-fat dairy. I eat lean meats. I basically weighed the same, give or take 15 pounds my whole life. And that 15 pounds is heavy when I'm bulking, and it's light when I'm doing cut routines. For over 20 years, I've ranged from 163 to 180. That's my weight range. And I pretty much stayed in the 5 to 15% body fat percentage my whole life. In the winter, I'll bulk up more towards 13, 14%, and in the middle of the summer, I'm down to 6.5. So, and I don't do a lot of dieting. Matter of fact, I do zero dieting. But I do avoid fatty foods. I don't eat a lot of starches. I don't eat a lot of pastas and a lot of carbs. I'll get a potato in or some spaghetti in here and there, but for the most part, it's lean meats. And you want to get all your fruits and veggies in, and there's nothing wrong with drinking a lot of water. So there is one particular thing that I want to talk about quickly that has a lot to do with nutrition, and you're not going to find any other strength people talk about it, but blue-green algae. It's a solid source of nutrients, multi-minerals, multivitamins, everything you need basically, except sunlight, is in blue-green algae. So now it's in negligible amounts, but it's packed with enzymes, so you assimilate 100% of it. You can get the hydroponic form of it, or you could do what I do, which is I get my algae from Klamath Lake. I try not to buy it retail. It's expensive if you do, so we're going to try to set a source up on the site where you can buy blue-green algae powder wholesale like I do, and it's very affordable. I usually buy a couple of pounds a year. I paid $50 to $70 a pound. Lasts me all year, teaspoon a day. You need to work your way up to that, but I've been doing it 15 years, and last year was the first time I had as much as even a head cold. But sitting out here in wood teepees in Percy Warner Park doesn't do much for not getting head colds, let me tell you. I think I have one right now, as a matter of fact. But anyway, blue-green algae is an important part of my diet, and I strongly stand behind it. And for those of you that think maybe blue-green algae doesn't have enough of a track record, I would suggest getting another cell cleaner such as chlorella or spirulina. They make mixtures of spirulina and chlorella together that you can combine into a fruit juice or a smoothie. And it's got that chlorophyll in there just like algae has. It cleans your cells. And I just really believe that you want to keep your cells clean. That's a huge part of any type of athletic program.
is proper nutrition, and blue-green algae, and even to a degree, I'll say that chlorella and spirulina have the properties that are essential for athletes. And you're going to do a lot better with these types of nutrients than you will over-the-counter multivitamins packaged in pills and stuff like that. Now, if you can find an all-organic multivitamin, it's not going to hurt you. Don't overdo them. They usually prescribe too much, especially if you're eating something like blue-green algae that has these enzymes in it that help you assimilate all your proteins and minerals. I just want to touch on that because I believe very strongly in keeping your cells clean and feeding your cells nutrients at the cellular level and benefiting from that in the strength training environment and in the athletic endeavors that you do. Now, we talked about diet a little bit. I want to touch on rest. Rest is key. There's several different components to rest. Obviously, there's the first component you'll choose at the machine when you choose your rest time. 60 to 90 seconds to begin with. And you're looking at me, if you download an EnduraCut or CardioCut, you're going, rest? That's not rest. I'm killing it in that period. Well, you are killing it in that period. So for you, that's not a rest time. But you got to work towards that, folks. You don't want to start out necessarily with Endura or Cardio or Superman Cut. Those are the toughest cut routines on the planet. My advice is start out resting 60 seconds. Any type of add-ons for the first few weeks. Get acclimated to the strength training part of this program, and then introduce the add-ons. The other form of rest is sleep. You got to get great sleep, and you got to get plenty of rest before you come back in here and try. Let's break this down. The smallest rest period is going to be the one you dial up on the cut machine. That's 60 to 90 seconds max, okay? Now, if you're not resting there, then the next chance you're going to get to rest is at the end of the 21-minute program. You need to spend 5 to 7 to probably 10 minutes before you try to do another cut routine. So 21 minutes to do your first cut routine, 5, 7, 10 minutes rest, whatever you've got to do to recover. Then you do your second cut routine. So that's the next interval of rest we're talking about. It's the rest between. What I'm talking about here is getting plenty of sleep and stretching and sitting down. Believe me, if you're doing 2-a-days, you don't need to go do 2-a-days and then go run around the block. Well, you can. I'm not saying don't do it. But what I am saying is get your rest. Make sure you get plenty of sleep. And work your way into these routines. These are such tough routines, and I don't want anybody to just think they can go out there and do 4 routines in the morning, 4 routines in the afternoon, and run 2 miles and think that you're not going to run your body down. Your body will not recover if you start out like that. You got to work your way up to that, folks. But that's all I want to say is make sure you get your rest between exercises, between routines, and during your daily rest, at night, your sleep, and what have you. So, rest is a big deal with the cut routine. It really is. Cardio. What do you say about cardio? Well, there's cardio cuts. You can do cardio while you're doing the cut routine, but when you're done doing cut routines, you can also go get some basic cardio in. That's a great way to advance the fat shredding. So if you want to get that burn happening and make that burn more of a residual burn, something that goes on while you're not exercising, for instance, doing cut routines, then go run a little bit. Go ride a bike. Go hiking. So those are the type of things I do. If I do my cut routine in the morning, well, in the afternoon, I'm probably on a bike riding, I'm not a huge bike rider, but I'll put in 5 miles, 10 miles if I'm really, wanting to get out there and hammer it. I run, I usually run between 1.5 miles and 3, and I do that a couple days a week. I'm not much of a road runner. I think it's hard on your knees. I prefer fields, parks, running around wood teepees, stuff like that. But whatever you do, whatever your form of cardio is, I feel if you're going to do cut routines, it really enhances the overall fat shredding potential if you get out and you do a little bit of cardio in addition to a cut routine. The next thing I want to talk about is cheating and consistency. Now, you're thinking, well, why would you lump these two together? Well, because they both have C's. That's why I lumped them together. Now, actually, cheating's okay in the cut routine, and what I mean by that is if you get down to, for instance, the 6-rep set, that's a super heavy set. You got the 8, the 6, the 4, the 3. Those are the real heavy sets. You get down to the 8 and the 6 rep set, it's okay to compromise your form a little bit to protect your shoulders, to protect your abs, whatever it takes. For instance, if I'm doing military press and I can't really find a spotter, and I'm down on my 6 rep set, and it's going to jack my 6 reps out, and then I'm basically going to toss the dumbbells down. Don't be concerned about laying those dumbbells down ever so slightly. Believe me, you've been working hard at this point for about 17 minutes without a break. People around you will know to get out of your way. But what I don't want to see you do is perfect form and then tear a rotator cuff, okay? So what I'm saying to you is it's okay in the heavy rep sets to do a little bit of cheating. And, and I protect myself. I always wear, a belt in those heavy rep sets. I use gloves. And, for instance, if I'm doing heavy curls and I'm at my 6 rep set, well, I'm going to do my heavy set and I may cheat and rock a little bit to protect my shoulder, to protect, the hernia area so you don't cause any kind of issues. Because what happens is the cut routine is unlike a lot of strength training programs. It fatigues the muscles entirely. There's nothing left in there. And what's going to happen? You're going to compensate, and you're going to compensate with the adjoining parts of your body. So as soon as your biceps go, and they may go at the 8 rep set, and they may go at the 10 or 12 rep set, but they're going to recover. They're going to recover. But in that time, you need to go ahead and cheat a little bit and knock the reps out. So cheating is okay in the heavy sets. I try not to get my clients to cheat early on. So you're 40, you're 35, you're 30, you're 25. You're not cheating there. You're getting perfect form. And the finishers, don't cheat during the finishers. If you have to on the very last rep, okay. But for the most part, you want perfect form during the finishers, perfect form during the early sets. And if you're going to do any cheating, it's only during the heavy sets. Okay, guys, I want to talk briefly about one of the concepts that I find very important to my 3 programs. If you've gotten to this point, you've obviously got the cut routine. What you probably don't know that much about is the bulk routine and the 1-year cycle, which encompasses all 3. The 1-year cycle, and I'm just going to touch briefly on it, but it's important that you kind of know this because just like knowing the maintenance routine, it kind of gives you an idea of what the cut routine is and where it sits in the overall picture. The 1-year cycle is basically a year. It's in life itself kind of rolls around yearly cycles. For the hunters, it's you go at a certain time of year and you're able to shoot your game. In the winter, you're able to kind of keep your meat frozen and the things that you need to keep stocked, for instance, seeds and such, are ready to go in the spring. Well, the 1-year cycle for strength training is kind of similar to that. What we do is at 615 Fit, basically, we roll all 3 programs, the maintenance, the bulk, and into what's known as the 1-year cycle. So, real quickly, it just kind of goes like this. The cycle begins July 4th. It's a holiday. Basically, you go on vacation. And when you get back from vacation, you enter what's called a light maintenance phase. You've been pretty much training all year. It's a chance for you to kind of let your body heal. You can even do ultralight maintenance at that point and do some higher rep stuff just to try to stay in that higher percentage workout load. You can even do the ultralight program, which is a tougher program than the light program because you're working at a higher maximum percentage range. So you've got your light maintenance, your ultralight maintenance, that's going on in July. As you get into the fall, you're doing a heavy maintenance program. You're getting ready to do what is a bulking program in the winter. Now, I know a lot of you people out there who bought this cut routine think, why would I want to do bulking? I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to lose body fat. Why would I want to do a bulk program? Well, there's a good reason because that type of program burns a lot of calories. And if you're doing year-round strength training, why not cycle? Why not go through low rep programs and really, really heavy lifting in the winter, in the late fall? And at that time, you've got access to great food because of the holidays and such. Put on a few pounds of solid, heavy, dense muscle. That's the bulk program. When you come off the bulk program in the early spring, like today, which is, I think this is the first week of spring, we're doing cut routines now. We'll do cut routines right up until July, and there's your cycle. You made it through a full year. You did a little bit of maintenance, you did a little bit of cutting, a little bit of bulking, and you did some heavy and light maintenance. It's a great way to kind of round the year out, and I think it's a great way to let your body heal from the program before. So the cut routine's tough. You know, I've stayed on it for 6 months at a time, but the older I get, I'm 45 years old now, I think the best way to do it, even if I was a younger guy and I thought more about it, I probably would have cycled more. But it's up to you. Take it for what it's worth. This is how we do it at 615 Fit, Worldwide Fit. We cycle the programs. So just so you have an idea what the cut routine, where it sits, it basically sits in the spring and early summer. And then, you know, another way to do it, and another cycle that we use, is we do another cut routine in the late fall. Right before going into the bulk program, we do another cut routine. It's about a 6-week cut routine. So you have options on the one-year cycle. You don't have to, you know, and the thing is, this one-year cycle is kind of used and based for North America. You know, if you're in another country, it's hard for me to tell you to start a cut routine in March, for instance. You know, that, hey, Australia, maybe you don't want to start your cut routine in March. But there's nothing wrong with starting cut routines in the spring, and there's a lot of reasons why. So there is a program called the one-year cycle. It's something worth looking into. If you're on the cut routine, you should look into the one-year cycle just so you have an idea of how to cycle these programs and get the best results out of it. So, you know, I look at the year like I look at my days. I want balance. I want balance throughout my day, balance throughout my year, and the way I balance my year is through the one-year cycle. Hey, so I want to talk a few minutes about how to avoid common pitfalls in the cut routine. You know, obviously the most common pitfall that I see is adherence. You know, I see a lot of people quit, you know, and this routine is set up to help you succeed. You know, I mentioned P90X earlier. I personally think it's a fabulous program, especially if you're a gymnast. You know, if you're able to pull your body weight around like a gymnast, then P90X is a great program for you. For the rest of us out there, strength training, it's about gains. It's about cycles. It's about coming in and out of programs and healing and allowing your body to get the absolute best it can year round. And so one of the things I like to talk about is adherence, because it's a lot easier to quit than it is to stick to the program. And I think most people quit because they don't see the full picture. They don't see the whole year as it pertains to, for instance, the cut routine. Yeah, if I thought I had to be on the cut routine forever, I would quit too. It's that tough. Hey, you know, but you don't. So one of the things you want to take in consideration when you start the cut routine is it's a 6-week minimum program. Now you can go 8, you can go 10 or 16 weeks, but we're talking 6 weeks. Take the 5 seconds off each week and reduce your rest times and see how it changes your life and your strength and your athleticism. But one of the most common pitfalls is people just quitting, walking away from it, saying, you know what, I can't do this. I just can't do this. So, you know, one of the ways to avoid having that problem is don't overdo it. You want to start out with a maintenance routine, 2 to 3 weeks, then start your cut routines. After you're into your cut routines, hey, start knocking 5 seconds off. But don't overdo your weight loads. Be conservative with your 1 rep maximum. If you get in the program and you don't have enough weight, then you can preload and postload and make it stronger and make it harder for you. But my advice is start out conservative. The database will be in your profile, so you'll know what weight you used the week before. The tougher end of so you won't have to guess. That's going to be one way to kind of adhere more to the program. Another problem I see, another pitfall I see with the cut routine is that you got to be careful. You know, you got to be focused. on this program at all times. You can't take your mind off of what you're doing. That 21 minutes, you need to be focused. You don't want to injure yourself. And strength training can be dangerous. If you don't know what you're doing, you need to have a spotter, a trainer, somebody around that'll get you started, get you pointed in the right direction. Little things like wrapping and strapping your hands and your wrists and belts and things like that are going to be important, because you don't want to get injured, and it would be a surefire way to make you quit the routine early. So try to work safe, try to work smart, and when at all possible, try to have a spotter around, and try to educate yourself about strength training 101 before you get in there and try to one of these advanced programs like the cut routine. So the next thing I want to talk about is how to integrate the cut routine into a sedentary lifestyle. If you've been sitting on the couch for 5 years, 10 years, however long, it's going to be tough. I would not suggest jumping right in and trying a cut routine. If you've been sitting on a couch and you haven't been doing anything, you need to start out with circuits. You need to go to a gym and just circuit through for about a week, and then start maintenance routines. After 2 weeks of maintenance, you can start a cut routine. If you start cut routines before that and you've been sitting on a couch, you're asking for trouble. It's going to be hard. You're going to get sore, you may get injured. So you got to try to work your body into these routines. That's why we have light maintenance. That's where you start. You work to ultralight maintenance. That's more of a strength training program. Then you do heavy maintenance for a week. A week of each of those, there's 3 weeks, and now you're ready to try the cut routine. But don't get off the couch after an extended period of time and think you're going to do the cut routine. Another thing to consider are age-related considerations. And hey, I'm 45 years old. I've been doing this routine for over 15 years, but it's tougher every year I do it. It's tougher every year I do it, And so I can imagine when I'm 55, I'll still be doing cut routines. But how hard is it going to be then, So I guess what I'm saying is you can do these pretty much at any age. I wouldn't suggest doing them under the age of 16 or over the age of 80. But you can do cut routines pretty much your whole life. You got to work into them. You got to do a little maintenance, hopefully some cycling, some bulking at certain times of the year to try to get ready. I think functionality is, at the end of the day, more important. So if you're having any type of problems with, if you have a disability or you have other health issues, you need to consult a physician before starting a cut routine. And that's true for any age. So, yes, you can do the cut routine at any age, but the older you get, you really need to be smart about entering the proper weight load and pacing yourself. Maybe it's one cut routine a day. In conclusion, I want to thank you for purchasing the cut routine, and I'm sure that as you go to the site and you start doing these routines, you're going to see that all the help's there you're going to need, the forums, the trainers, myself. Basically what you've done is you've gotten one of the toughest strength training programs on the planet, and you're going to have a good shot at getting in the best shape of your life. There's a reason why people do different workouts. So whether you're doing yoga or you're doing cardio or you're doing strength training, there's a reason why, and it's because you know in your heart that these are the types of programs that you enjoy the most and that you get the most benefit from. And as far as the cut routine is concerned, I'm not the only person who feels like it is by far one of the toughest programs you'll ever encounter and the most productive. So once again, I want to thank you. I can't urge you enough to make sure that you have a doctor's clearance to start these programs, and that you've warmed up properly in the sense of getting into either circuit training or maintenance or something prior to starting a cut routine, or make sure that you're ready and really in fantastic shape before you certainly try an add-on cut routine such as Endura Cut or Cardio Cut or even Disco Cut. But you know, I'm Coach Steve Aaron. It's been a pleasure talking to you today. Once again, if you have any questions, make sure to email them to info@worldwidefit.com and get out there and let's get cut. Thanks, and we'll see you later. Folks, I'm Coach Steve Aaron. For the next 22 minutes, you're going to be doing a cut routine with me. We're here at 615 Fit in Nashville, Tennessee. This program has been around since the mid-1990s, and I've been doing it all the time and working on it and making it tougher and making it sweeter and perform better. So what you're going to see here today is the cut routine at its best in April of 2011. We're going to start out with programming the machine. Walk over here to the computer, and you'll kind of be able to see the screen. We'll probably cut some stuff in so you can't. And we're going to go straight to what is the cut machine. Ladies and gentlemen, there it is.
Step 1, please select a trainer.
All right, there's our trainers. We're going to select Max today.
Step 2, select exercise.
We're doing military presses. Yeah, there you go.
Step 3, set time back.
Starting out at 60 seconds, but if it takes you 5 seconds to walk to the computer, set it at 55.
Step 4, enter the 1 rep maximum.
I'm going to use the 1 rep calculator up here. I think that, let's see, there it is, the 1 rep calculator. Brings up the screen right here. And I'm pretty sure that I'm capable of doing, well, you know, I can do 125 4 times, so let's hit the calculate button. Bam, there it is, 136 is what it's calculating. We're going to scroll down here, and we're going to, now hit the go button. Okay, now, I'm looking at this. The engine's running, the machine's ready to go. It's just not enough weight for me. For one, I think I'm going to work on a leverage piece of equipment, so I'm going to change over here. Wait, first I'm going to put the both in and see what that does. It's going to take it from 13 to 27. Yeah! Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go to leverage because I really want this to be a great workout today. And I'm going to work on leverage. It's going to make another adjustment for you right there. And there's your rep schedule. It's just what I want to see. About 170 at the 3 rep range. It's going to be a nice tough 3 rep for me. And we're ready to go. It's calling for 35 pounds, which happens to be my piece of equipment out here. So we're ready to start at any time at this point. But before we get started, I always like to have proper equipment. So a belt, set of gloves, you know. This is going to be a 22-minute program. You're not going to have time to really run around finding your stuff, so get it ready to go before you start working out. Okay. You know, I don't pull it good tight until I do the actual rep, and usually it's the heavier reps I'm going to want to wear this stuff. But go ahead and have it on, have it ready to go. It's calling for 35 pounds. 35 pounds, 40 reps. We're now starting the cut routine, ladies and gentlemen. TheCutRoutine.com. 40 reps. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Every time we go hit the push button. Unless you fail, there's the push button and hit it. A little applause going on. The clock's counting down. Yeah, if you were to fail, then you would hit the fail button and enter the number of reps that you actually achieved. Hopefully that won't happen to me today because I should know how to do this machine. I didn't check the weight load. It's saying to add 10 pounds. 10 pounds for 35 reps, so we're going to do that. But we do have a minute of rest in this case because this is the standard cut. 5 on here, 5 on here. It's going for 35 reps. Now, the bell's going to ring here in a minute. That's when you're supposed to be ready to go. You have a few seconds up there.
Attention, it's time to get to your station and begin working out. You have 5 seconds remaining. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yep, that feels like it's dead on. Gonna go over here, hit the push button immediately. Saying 30 reps with 55 pounds. I want you to add 10 more pounds. Countdown clock's counting. You got about 50-something seconds left. We'll walk over here. Get ready to rock and roll. You know, you don't have a lot of time between sets, so it's a good idea to get some water. Make sure your belt's always loosened. I haven't really tightened it up because I'm not going to get heavy yet. But you want to be as loose and relaxed as possible between sets. You don't have a lot of time.
Attention, it's time to get to your station and begin working out. You have 5 seconds remaining. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, we're on it this time. The weight load feels perfect. That was my 30 rep set. Hit the push button. Calling for 25 pounds. Wants me to add 7.5 pounds. Now I am on a leverage piece of equipment, so you don't really notice 2.5 pound difference on each side. If it was a bar, I would split the difference. Those dumbbells, I'd make sure they weigh the same amount. But with leverage, you have a little bit of leeway, so we can add the exact amount that it's asking for. This would be a 25 rep set. Weight load feels like it's just perfect. I've got both the preloading and the post-loading check, so I'm using the both button, and I'm right at my 1 rep max at 60 seconds.
Attention, it's time to get to your station and begin working out. You have 5 seconds remaining. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I'm feeling that. All right, so we're going to go in here and hit the push button. It's calling for another 7.5 pounds, which in this case we'll add the 5 to this side and the 2.5 over here to balance it all back out again. Now, if you were doing one of the add-on cut routines like Enduro cut, disco cut, cardio cut, MMA, you'd be doing those specific exercises right now. You're not standing around resting like I am. And it may look like I'm resting, but listen to you. I'm actually tired. This is a really tough routine. Just trying to recover between sets. Those of you that really want to kick it, do the add.
Attention, it's time to get to your station and begin working out. You have 5 seconds remaining. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, I'm loco, maybe just a little bit, oh no. Got to go on another no-show, baby, that's okay. I don't think they'll be there. Comes a man in the white coat.
Okay, starting to feel a little burn. Hit the push button.
It's asking to add 10 more pounds. So just so happens I got a 5 right here. Throw another 5 on. Now, once again, I want you guys to try to relax as much as possible if you're not doing one of the add-ons. If you're just doing a standard cut routine like this, you need to be trying to relax, trying to recover, breathing, drinking water, maybe even doing a little stretching. You know, a lot of the add-on programs are a lot of stretching involved. So it's a great way to get flexibility, and if you're doing cardio cut, you're over here doing cardio. You're running around the room, you're doing jumping jacks, you're doing ellipticals.
Attention, it's time to get to your station and begin working out. You have 5 seconds remaining. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, right on. 17 reps, it's right on the money. The push button is now hit. It's asking me to add 7.5 more pounds. 15 reps. Reps are coming down. The weight's going up. Next week, the rest time comes down. And the profile is going to be kicking back your information about the workout. That's the beauty of what we got going on here is that after a few weeks, the profile knows what your 1 rep is. You don't have to guess it in anymore. You don't have to know if you're preload or postload. You'll know what you like the best. It'll preset that for you. And knock time off. And add a little bit to your 1 RM if you're a little stressed.
Attention, it's time to get to your station and begin working out. You have 5 seconds remaining. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Whoa! All right, we're starting to feel 45 years old all of a sudden. 12 reps. It's asking for 10 more pounds. This might be a challenge, my friends. 10 more pounds. Go over here and hit the push button. 5 over here. 5 over there. Now, you know, I can't talk enough about good nutrition. You should be eating lean meats. Don't eat a bunch of fatty pastas and breads and sugary cokes and drinks like that. Don't do it. Cut routines work, but it takes diet and control and self-control. And you know what? You got to get up almost every day and hit these cut routines.
Attention, it's time to get to your station and begin working out. You have 5 seconds remaining. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's right.
Oh yeah. I'm afraid there might be a missed plateau here pretty soon. I hate to be the one to tell you that, but that's what's about to happen. Hit the push button. Oh boy, it's asking for 10 more pounds, ladies and gentlemen. This will be 10 reps. Yes, sir, Bob. Starting to feel the pain. We're working out with a total of 107.5 pounds right now. This will be for 10 reps, based on leverage equipment, so it's not really 107 pounds. It's probably closer to, 95 pounds, something like that, on a bar.
Attention, it's time to get to your station and begin working out. You have 5 seconds remaining. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Really feeling it. Hit the push button.
Thank you very much. It's wanting me to add a full 10 more pounds, ladies and gentlemen. This will be an 8-rep set. We're beyond the difficult range at this point. Now entering what's known as
Anyway, so we got
zone.
about 20 seconds to tell you about something else, and that is
try to get a spotter around here when you're doing this. I know you see I'm doing this alone, but I've been doing this for over 15 years. It's always good to have a spotter around. You're going to see me really struggle in these next few sets, and I'm going to belt, strap, and wrap, and cheat. If you got a spotter, you may not have to do all that.
Attention, it's time to get to your station and begin working out. You have 5 seconds remaining. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I may have gotten a little greedy here today. Come over here, hit the push button. There it goes, 54 seconds. It's asking at this point for 17.5 pounds. I'm in trouble. I'm gonna unpost load this. I just can't do it. I'm gonna hope that when I unload the both button, it comes down from 135 to something reasonable here. Oh, that's 107. We can't do that. It's got to be more than 117. There it is, 125. Now, one of the things that does happen in the cut routine, oops, I forgot to undo my, always undo your belt. One of the things that happens in the cut routine is you do kind of start to recover a little bit. You know, you may be exhausted at the 15, the 12 rep, the 10 rep, the 8 rep. By the time you get to the 6, the 4, and the 3, you're getting the recovery because you're only doing 6 reps. So it only takes a few seconds and you have the full minute of rest. So the ratio changes. That's why it's so dynamic.
Attention, it's time to get to your station and begin working out. You have 5 seconds remaining.
6 reps.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now we get the fail button. Asking me to enter the number of achieved reps. Scroll down here. See 5, enter a 5 there. Alright, countdowns, go ahead and counting down, we're in good shape. It's asking for 142 here, which is 17-pound difference. If we take the post loading off, can we give us a little less maybe? Oh, it's staying at 125. I can't. Boy, I tell you, it's tempting, but no. What we're going to do is, yeah, we're going to split the difference here. It's asking for 125 again. I'm going to add 2 pounds to try to just give me something else for 4 rep sets.
Attention, it's time to get to your station and begin working out. You have 5 seconds remaining. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There's your 4 rep, but I cheated a little bit. I knew I couldn't have gotten what it was asking. It was asking for about an additional 17 pounds. Once again, you know, here we go. It's asking for 142, which wants me to add 17 pounds. I just can't, I know better. I can't do it. There's no way I'll get my 3rd rep. So what I'm doing is a little bit of self-adjusting. Probably shouldn't have hit the both button on this workout tonight. Because anytime you gotta go back from both preloading and post-loading to just post-loading, you kind of get ahead of yourself, and that's what happened to me tonight. I got a little ahead of myself, and now I can't finish. I just don't have enough strength in it. I am going up 5 more pounds just to make a nice strong finish. Staying on the clock, trying not to miss my rep.
Attention, it's time to get to your station and begin working out. You have 5 seconds remaining. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
our finishers, we come over here and we hit the push button. It's going to be an incredibly tough finisher today. Saying remove 45 pounds. So that'll be 15 reps. We're going to have 1 minute. There's no rest between the other two finishers. So we're going to take away 22 pounds per side. There's 5, 10, 15, 22. Over here, take away 22. 15, 22. Now we got 3 15s coming up. No rest between sets. So I'm looking down here to see what my next weight load is. 30 pounds left.
Attention, it's time to get to your station and begin working out. You have 5 seconds remaining. 5, 4, 3, 2,
Last time I laid my eyes on you, almost died for the stage. Watching you I regret ever loving you.
30 pounds total. 15 more reps. Now it's asking for my final set.
I wrote this song.
It's telling me I need 52.5 pounds. Subtraction of 15 pounds. So we're going to take 5 off over
When I
here.
sang this song
10 off
to
over here. Here's our last 15. Step set. 1. Nice and wide. Perfect form. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There. 22 minutes of the most intense working out on the planet. That's with a rest. Imagine that with sports-specific stuff mixed in, or even 6 to 8 weeks down the road when the 60-second rest has become 30 seconds of rest. Thank you very much, folks. Coach Steve Aaron, 615 Fit in Nashville, Tennessee. We'll see you next time.
And now we're able to integrate more of a movement base so your body never stops and that muscle has never actually stopped being worked.
It's about muscle strength, muscle tension, things of that nature.
An opportunity to get fit, to lose weight, to build strength, and to stay healthy as we age.
It's the idea of getting cardio and weightlifting combined together.
You burn fat and you're building your wind up, I guess you could say.
It's all overall full body.
That any extra pound is unwanted.
It's all about how your muscles are, how your body feels, you know.
All about having fun.
Have a person slim down, tone up their muscles.
Look at the website, do specific stuff. They might have their own studio in their house, and or they can take these exercises to their local gyms.
The undeniable part about it is the database. And, the software we developed is going to track everything the user does. And when we were first doing this routine, we were using pencil and paper and having to do these calculations. Now I got a computer software program that calculates everything and databases.
So you're going to need core strengthening, obviously. You're going to need leg work. You're going to do a lot of plyometrics, a lot of explosive stuff.
So people, that have something new and exciting to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, when I first started with Steve, I couldn't even drive home. My arms and chest and everything was so spent, I had to get my mom to drive me home.
Had on my favorite suit and tie. This time we'd never say goodbye. And now I'm holding on so tight to what was lost to the night. But now it's over. Letting go what was in my heart. I'm just a millionaire. As my alarm goes off, I'm late.